The Type 093B, often referred to as the Shang III class submarine, is currently the most capable nuclear-powered attack submarine known to be in active service with the People's Liberation Army Navy plan. It is a further development of the original Type 093, Shang I, and Type 093A, Shang II classes, incorporating a number of technical and operational improvements aimed at extending range, reducing acoustic signature, increasing firepower, and enhancing multi-mission flexibility. The shift toward a more modern nuclear-powered guided missile submarine platform reflects a broader Chinese strategic objective of turning the plan into a blue water navy that can operate independently in distant oceans, challenge adversary naval forces, and deny access to areas considered vital to Chinese interests. The hull design of the 093B is believed to be longer than earlier versions of the Shang class, with estimates placing the length at around 125 to 130 meters. The increased size accommodates a vertical launch system (VLS) midships, something absent from its predecessors. The VLS cells, numbering between 12 and possibly up to 18 in later configurations, represent a significant evolution in China's undersea strike capabilities. With this capability, the submarine can launch a variety of cruise missiles while submerged, giving it the ability to strike land-based targets, enemy naval forces, or high-value assets like aircraft carriers from standoff distances. This ability marks a shift in mission profile from traditional anti-submarine warfare and close-in patrol to a long-range offensive capability previously only held by a small group of nations. The most likely missile deployed through these vertical launchers is the YJ-18, which has a range exceeding 500 kilometers and a dual-mode profile, cruising at subsonic speed before switching to supersonic in its terminal phase. This missile poses a particular threat to large surface vessels due to its speed and maneuverability. Additionally, the platform is likely compatible with the CJ-10 or DF-10 cruise missile, which has a range in excess of 1,000 kilometers and is designed for land attack roles. There is also speculation, based on industrial leaks and satellite imagery, that future versions of the 093B or its successor may be capable of carrying more advanced weapons, such as the YJ-21, a hypersonic anti-ship missile. However, there is no open-source evidence yet of these being launched from a submerged platform, and such integration would require major design adaptations. One of the more important advancements in the 093B is the adoption of pump jet propulsion. Unlike older designs that use conventional screw propellers, pump jets offer improved hydrodynamic efficiency and lower radiated noise, especially at higher speeds. This system works by drawing water in through an intake and forcing it out through a nozzle, which reduces cavitation, the creation of bubbles that can generate detectable noise. While China's pump jet technology is relatively new, its inclusion signals a direct attempt to reduce the acoustic signature of its submarine fleet and compete with Western designs such as the Virginia class in terms of stealth. Still, despite these advancements, most external defense analysts believe the 093B is not yet as quiet as contemporary US, British, or Russian submarines. Noise reduction is a deeply complex engineering problem involving hull coatings, internal machinery isolation, reactor cooling systems, and advanced sonar countermeasures, and it takes decades of experience and iteration to perfect. The sonar suite onboard the 093B is believed to include modern bow-mounted active, passive sonar, flank arrays along the sides of the hull, and a towed array sonar system for passive long-range detection. These allow the submarine to track multiple targets across various domains, including enemy submarines, surface ships, and even low-flying aircraft in certain acoustic conditions. These capabilities are supplemented by onboard signal processing and fire control systems, likely using Chinese-developed electronics with some systems possibly influenced by Russian designs. The sensors are not considered cutting-edge by Western standards but are regarded as adequate for regional power projection and defensive patrols. Operationally, the Type 093B is expected to serve a variety of roles. These include escorting surface groups, such as China's aircraft carrier formations, patrolling contested areas like the South China Sea and East China Sea, performing intelligence and reconnaissance missions, and acting as a forward-deployed missile platform during a crisis or in preparation for conflict. The presence of cruise missile capabilities significantly increases the strategic options available to Chinese naval commanders, allowing them to engage targets without relying on air or surface assets that may be more vulnerable to detection or interdiction. The submarine can remain submerged for extended periods, although it is unclear whether its endurance matches that of U.S. boats, which routinely conduct multi-month patrols across oceans. Reactor technology remains a sensitive area in Chinese military development, and while the 093B likely uses a more advanced pressurized water reactor than earlier classes, its efficiency, noise level, and maintenance cycles remain unclear. While China maintains tight control over information related to its nuclear submarine fleet, several key observations can be made through satellite surveillance, shipyard activity, and naval base expansion. The 093B submarines are primarily constructed at the Bohai shipyard in Huludao, which has expanded significantly in recent years with new covered docks and larger assembly buildings, suggesting the capability to build multiple nuclear submarines in parallel. The home port for operational boats appears to be the Yulin Naval Base on Hainan Island, a hardened facility with underground tunnels and direct access to deep water, allowing stealthier deployment. From this base, submarines can access the South China Sea and operate under cover of extensive shore-based anti-access, area denial systems, giving them a layer of protection against foreign surveillance. There is little confirmed evidence of the 093B participating in extended combat exercises beyond China's near seas, nor are there confirmed reports of these submarines being detected or shadowed by foreign navies in distant waters. Most observed deployments have been within relatively predictable regions close to Chinese territory. While this is consistent with Beijing's cautious military posture, it also indicates that China's nuclear submarine operations remain relatively conservative. This cautious use may stem from a combination of limited experience, concern over detection, or reliability issues that make commanders hesitant to deploy the submarines into hostile waters for long durations. Rumors of accidents or operational failures have occasionally surfaced online, including allegations in 2023 of a Type 093 submarine suffering a fatal accident in the Taiwan Strait. These reports were widely circulated on social media and several unofficial defense blogs but were ultimately unconfirmed. Taiwan's Ministry of Defense issued statements denying any knowledge of such an incident, and no supporting evidence from Western intelligence or satellite data emerged. The likelihood is that this was either misinformation or confusion stemming from unrelated military activity. It does, however, highlight the intense scrutiny and speculation that surrounds China's nuclear fleet, and the difficulty in separating propaganda from real operational developments in an environment of strict secrecy and information control. The future of the Type 093B class appears to be part of a phased transition toward more capable submarines, including the upcoming Type 095. While the 093B is a step forward, it may also serve as a developmental bridge, allowing the plan to test new systems and train crews in preparation for the more ambitious capabilities expected from future classes. The learning curve involved in producing and operating nuclear submarines is steep, and although China has made rapid progress, it still lags behind in certain critical areas such as stealth, global patrol capacity, long-range detection, and secure undersea communications. The Type 093B represents a meaningful advance in China's undersea warfare capabilities, particularly with the introduction of vertical missile launch capability and improved propulsion. It allows China to threaten surface targets at a greater distance and with greater stealth than before. However, its performance, while modern compared to previous Chinese submarines, does not place it on equal footing with the most advanced platforms operated by the United States or Russia. It remains largely untested in real-world operations, and much of its capability is assessed through indirect observation and reasonable inference. Nevertheless, its existence and deployment mark a significant development in China's naval posture, and its continued expansion is being closely monitored by naval forces throughout the Indo-Pacific and beyond.